right, there you have it. It's ended Liverpool 2, Southampton 0. As always, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you aren't already. And let's get into it. All right. So it's ended a scoreline of Liverpool 2, Southampton 0. Which, in all honesty, it sort of tells a story, but doesn't tell a story. Would you agree with that? I mean, I think 2-0 kind of does that flatter Liverpool a little bit? I mean, I know there was chances, and but I don't know. I thought a 1-0 Liverpool win was more fair.
It's if you were to take this scoreline, if this was the Liverpool game where we won 1-0, you'd be like, okay, whatever. It was Liverpool. It's whatever. Yeah. It's 2-0 against Liverpool. And to be fair, I thought for the most part we were fine. There was, when we were with it, we were passing the ball, moving it well. The defenders were good. For the most part, Forster was good. It was just that they had that extra class that we didn't. They had Mane and Salah, Firmino and Jota, and we had Nathan Redmond, Shea Adams, and Theo Walcott, and it clearly showed.
Yeah, there's definitely a quality difference.
I think that still doesn't speak wonders for us at all, but that's the problem. That they just weren't clinical enough up front today, or they created enough, but not enough at the same time.
No.
Of those 6 chances, all I can really remember is the Shea one and the one that hit the crossbar. Apart from that, I didn't really trouble them.
No, it didn't. I mean, I think just looking over at the stats, I mean, we had opportunities. I mean, you had 12 shots on goal. We had 6 of those on target, which is the same amount that Liverpool had. They had 6 shots on target with 14 shots on goal. So, you can talk about us being clinical or not being clinical in that game, but we had opportunities to score. And I just think there were a few moments in that game that, we just missed that little bit of extra quality that ultimately the big money spenders of Liverpool have in, the form of Saint Mane, getting that first goal. But I don't know. I don't think we can be too harsh on ourselves after that. I think that's something that we're playing all the time we're sort of playing a different system. We played the same sort of system as we did against Leicester, but ultimately, unfortunately, Leicester were a bit flat. And when we went down to 10 men, we still had to play decent football. But had we been playing against Liverpool last Friday night, I think it would have been a much different picture because that Liverpool side were better tonight.
They were. They put their chances away, so instantly better. But it was still Liverpool, and they were Liverpool with 2 centre backs, two fresh centre backs, and not a full squad. It was really only the front line that was. So who could have been a lot worse for us today. I feel like if the full Liverpool squad was there, but then again, I think it would have been a lot better for us if the full Southampton squad was there. It was a full squad. Probably would have been a really interesting game, but for what it was quite a flat game. Until the Liverpool players you would expect to step up, stepped up.
Yeah. And
that was it. We said it a lot during the game, what's Theo really bringing? I think that's probably one of my biggest takeaways from this game really is what's Theo bringing to this?
Yeah.
That isn't locker room that isn't just locker room mentality.
Yeah.
It's not a great look on him, but I thought Teller did all right. Walker Peters did pretty good. I thought Forster made some great saves. Unfortunately, he was full stretch for that second goal, so there's no way he's stopping it because he really was full stretch.
No, it was a good goal.
That's a great point there. We are missing all those players key to our game, and they do have Mo Salah. We need all of those players to beat this team that we're playing today. We would need all those players to win this game.
Yeah,
and we don't have them, so it was always going to be a tough game for us. And I guess especially against a team who we beat. Liverpool were top 6. They must be the only top 6 side we beat this season.
Yeah,
so and Ralph and Jurgen have this weird connection. This weird, like I said before the game, it's the way they're talking. They're both so happy to be talking to each other.
Bundesliga friends.
Exactly. So they both know what to expect from this game, and Klopp had the weapons for it. So not a good result for us. But as far as the performance goes, I think you can really for the next game. Like I would honestly, you got to start Salasso over Vestergaard next game. I'd say. I think you start either, I would start Obafemi the next game over Walcott if you're going to play him in that position.
Same.
Play two strikers and Redmond. I feel like Theo's kind of lost. It's trying to play the wing, trying to play in the middle.
I don't understand why you would play. I mean, I predicted the lineup bang on, but in my mind, I was thinking I can see him doing this. But if Obafemi's fit, why? Like, why not start him?
First of all, you don't know how 100% Obafemi was. As always, right. This should always his first game back. He should always be on the bench first, no matter what. That's just a thing. And before he went out with the injury, it wasn't like he was starting anyway.
No,
if before he went out, you would have started Theo. But now a lot
really
of
in the striker.
Where we were beginning of the season and where Obafemi was at the beginning of the season, you would have started. You would have started Theo. We all would have, maybe not me because I like Obafemi, but that's what it would have happened. So. I think next game you would honestly say like Obafemi was actually quite unlucky not to score today if it wasn't for that last ditch block in the dime embers there. So I feel like he could do a job, and I like to see him get out quite a bit of game time, be on the ball a bit more. I thought like he didn't really get to show too much because the ball wasn't really fed to him. He's a great runner. He's a great runner of the ball, and that little burst of pace he had gives me real confidence because there was a little bit of how fit is he.
Right
before he went out for the injury, like he's like, oh, is he redoing stuff? There was rumors that Ralph didn't like his work ethic, but I looked at him today. I was like, that little burst of pace and think his little bits of movements and what he was doing off the ball. I was like, you know what? I'm very excited to see Michael Obafemi back. But and it isn't because he just smashed 20 goals in for me in my FIFA season. I do very much appreciate that.
But he does that in terms of that burst of pace. But remember that time when. It was like the Arsenal away game a couple of seasons ago. We had a huge burst of pace and then suddenly pulled up with injury, and after come on at half time, he had to go off 10 minutes later. So
but let's be fair to back in the day with Michael Owen, if he like all he had was pace until he didn't have that anymore. So if that's all, there's no way to know if that's going to injure him until it injures him. And it's in his life, so he's got to do it. He's got to do it until if he put it this way, if he does it again and that happens again, he knows he has to change his game.
Yeah, absolutely. If you come say, like someone from Jay, if I speak about Theo, I'm not PG, so I'm not going to say anything. If anyone in the members section does want to join, the link is in the community page section, so go and check it out there. And for this, I feel bad saying the name out loud because it sounds like I'm being rude, but
call them the FCG.
The FCG. I'll be putting the link in the chat section once this goes past 10 minutes. That's a good rule, isn't it? That's a good priority window.
We're going 10 minutes. Christ,
you've got to do a minute and a half.
Stretch it out.
It'll be going there, but just to give fair priority
wasn't great tonight.
Oh, I told you about the Finding Nemo. That's fantastic. I enjoyed that. So yeah, we'll be there. Speaking of the devil, we have someone joining. Fantastic. Right.
Wowzers.
So Kieran, new member. Welcome to the stream. Kieran, how you doing?
Evening, fellas.
My man.
So
how are you? You all right?
We're doing okay. A bit of what feels like a predictable result of 2-0, but I was just saying to Jack earlier, it feels like almost 2-0 flat as Liverpool. Would you say that's fair, or were we just not at it today?
Yeah, it's just the hope that kills you, isn't it? There were opportunities where we should have hurt Liverpool. I mean, the Alisson mistake, and how did Shea score that? I'm sorry, but he has to bury that 100%. It's not questioning like fitness or stuff like that at that stage of the game. But no matter who you are, what level you are, you have to bury that. Simple as that. Even in the first half where Teller squared it across the box to him, he should have probably done better with the finish as well. And look what happens. Liverpool go down the other end and they score. That's just the story of our season, isn't it?
It is definitely. I mean, I think looking at the games that we've got ahead. I mean, Do you think Ralph is going to go with the same kind of setup for Tuesday's game against Crystal Palace? Is he going to rotate the squad in any kind of way, or do you think he's just going to do the similar thing?
Yeah, I think he'll probably rotate a couple of players. It won't be many because, I mean, let's be honest, he hasn't really changed that centre-back pairing of Bednarek and Vestergaard rarely all season. So I reckon the only other change you'll probably see is probably at left back, even though Stephen's done pretty well tonight. I don't think he'll probably start against Palace, but there could be a change up front or on the wings. You could probably put Taylor on the wing to take out Walcott because, Walcott was invisible tonight, and you probably could slot Obafemi alongside Shea because it depends if Ings is fit or not, really, about whether we will rotate on, I think, was it Tuesday night for Palace? Yeah. But that has to be a must-win game now because who have we got now? We got Fulham, we got Palace, we got Leeds. 3 winnable games until the end of the season, where I think we just got to focus on getting the 40 points and then just think about next season because Fulham are probably already down, but there's still that possibility that we could be 17th at the end of the season, and that doesn't look too good considering the start that we had at the start of the season. But
I think it's
not great.
It's a good shout, really, because if we're looking at the table, I mean, I think the relegation thing is out the window because I just can't see West Brom and Fulham picking up what they need to get anywhere close. But it's just
you kind of
got
that hope from Fulham.
Yeah, but just that whole kind of feeling
from Fulham.
Sorry, go. Got a delay on the thing.
Nah, it's alright. It's like you. Nah, it's just you kind of got that feeling from Fulham when Newcastle were down there, but Newcastle have just turned on the burners the last few games, and then Joe Willock is starting to become a really good player for them. Convenient how dire that Arsenal are and how he could probably slot in there now conveniently. But I don't really want to talk about them. But it's I think just based on we're lucky to be where we are due to the start we had at the start of the season. Because if this was gone through like the whole season, we would be where Fulham and West Brom are definitely. With the performances we've had in the second half of the season, there's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a point here from Alex that brought up earlier, 11 points out of a possible 54 since the new year. If Fulham beat Burnley, then us as a gap will close to 4 points. 2 games to go. I mean,
that's a shocking stat.
It's
terrible.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the points accumulated from the new year, it's horrendous. There's no getting away from it. And as you said earlier, it's just about the points we accumulated at the start of the season. And had we not done that, we would be looking precarious in the similar positions, and they'd be making it more enjoyable for the Sky Sports pundits. Always seems to go, they've got a bit of a buffer there, but there we go.
Yeah, conveniently, it was that Liverpool result that turned our season upside down when we won there at the start of January. Conveniently, but I just want to focus on next season now because I think all of us are tired of 12 and we haven't won in 12 losses in 16 games.
Yeah,
like that is horrendous.
It's rough.
That is horrendous. And that doesn't probably that probably doesn't exclude the FA Cup games. We're strictly talking about league. We win against Sheffield United, we drew against Chelsea, we drew against Leicester, and that's all the ones I could probably think of.
Yeah.
And that stat is horrendous. Yeah. Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking to read, really. But I think, with the Tuesday game coming up, maybe we get Romeo back, maybe he goes back to a similar system, but I just, can see him sort of sticking with that Ward-Prowse and Armstrong pairing in the centre. So where does Romeo fit into that? It's going to be interesting, really. But
it's a tough one just because Romeo and Armstrong are two of our most influential players. Like Romeo does so much alongside Ward-Prowse, and you saw that in the first 3 months of the season how good they were as a pairing, and Diallo couldn't even get into the team.
Yeah,
but Armstrong have obviously had that experience before playing at centre mid when he was at Celtic, but they haven't been a bad duo. But you kind of think what we could have done in the last few games if Armstrong was out on the right and making those runs, like carrying the ball towards the opposition box, and the amount of chances he probably could have created. But I don't think Ralph will probably risk Romeo, probably bench Romeo. The question is, with Armstrong's injury record, who are you going to put in to partner Ward-Prowse? Because Ward-Prowse plays every game. There's no doubt in my mind he'll start, but you're going to put Diallo in there. You're going to keep Armstrong in there. You're going to put one of the youngsters like Jankovic in there. Like, it's one of those questions. It depends on the fitness of the players. And to be honest, knowing our injury records, our players are probably still on thin ice compared to the last couple of months. So what can you do?
No, it's been tough. Jack, you got any questions for Kieran?
No, I was too busy just listening to all of his good points, to be honest. This is the first time I've had. There's not often I get there's a third person on when I'm here. I was just like, oh, this is good. I get to not be a part of the show now. I get to listen to someone with actual things to say rather than just pure gut reactions.
To be fair, the gut reactions, you're bound to say it, aren't you?
Exactly. That's the problem. Is I go with those gut reactions and I forget what I say. But I just want to know if you agree with us about the Theo thing. Really, how like if your money was on it, where would you put it in the summer? Would you put it on Theo or Taki?
It depends really, because Taki has been more clinical in front of goal, but he's been pretty invisible in the games he's played. Apart from probably the game against Newcastle, where on his debut, he hasn't really done that much. But with the case with Theo is when we signed him, he actually made an influence to the team throughout from when he signed until January when he got injured. So it's, I don't know. But if we were talking about the quality of a player, I probably would take Taki. But with Walcott, you've got the sentimental value. He's a Southampton boy. He's been through the academy. It's a tough situation. Personally, I wouldn't have either.
Cool, big shout. I love that. Who are you going for instead?
If I had the choice. But if I had to take one, I'd probably take Taki because he's got that little bit of golf and quality in him. He's been at Liverpool. He's played in the Champions League. He's played at Salzburg. Yeah, I probably would take Taki over Theo, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, good shouts there. Well, Kieran, thanks so much for jumping on.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
New member section, but I'm sure we'll hopefully see you for the post match on Tuesday night if you're about. So thanks for that.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed I'm out work early. So yeah, and hopefully for a better result, and we don't have to worry about any bad results for the rest of the season. Fingers crossed, but we'll never know. It's Saints. We're always going to have a heart attack every game we're in. So.
You know the gig well. Fantastic.
Yeah,
all right.
Of course.
Cheers, Kieran. All right. Catch you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Good talking to you, mate. There's two things that are going to be sure. Is that Southampton are going to win every game for the rest of the season, and Danny Ings is going to retire with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So in it goes. The StreamYard link is in there. If anyone wants to jump in, me and Jack will be chatting for at least 2 minutes more.
I love
so if
this,
anyone wants to jump in, then it's open to non-members. This is where it gets really scary, isn't it?
I'll be honest. Like I wasn't here for the Tottenham game, and when I saw you were just taking people on, I was like, I'm going to tune in for this little bit.
So I just in case you get any opposition fans, and you just like quickly,
Yeah, come on, guys, just get involved. Come say hello. Come and have a chat.
But there's some great points there from Kieran. I mean, I think
Kieran's better than this than I am. So like, he's, so yeah, it's great that he made some great points. And he's absolutely he's right about everything he says about the squad. It's hard to tell, but I with the Romeo coming back, I think you might be putting a bit too much on how good Armstrong is in numbers in that middle of the park role. He is good and he's doing a great job, but that's not where he belongs. It's not where he stretches his legs, is it?
It's not, but it's just the pairing of them working together. And I think in that second half against Spurs, where it went wrong is the fact that got disrupted. Danny came off injured, and then all of a sudden, instead of switching like for like striker, they took off Ings and brought on Diallo and moved. I think they moved up, Redmond up to the striker position, and it all kind of got shifted around. So, which it was working great.
I just feel like you've got Romeo Wynn and Ward-Prowse in that centre role, and you got Armstrong. Armstrong definitely working the right.
Yeah.
And then probably Redmond on the other side. You've just got two wingers who are just doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like right now there's too many people playing more than one role and trying to get into so many places. If you got Redmond, Ward-Prowse, Romeo, and Armstrong across in the midfield, first of all, it's the most level-headed. Great. That means you've got great bench options to come on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all people that are going to do their jobs and do it properly and be in the right position. So, it's consistency that we're looking for. And I feel like once they get those four back into position, it's going to be way better. And then you can sort of swap around who you want in those top two. Then, obviously it's Shea or Danny if they're fit, but I'm just excited to see Obafemi back. So I want to see more Obafemi for the rest of the season, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, we've got someone joining.
Oh my God. Who is it?
Is Matt back again? Is this Matt that joined me after the Spurs game? It looks like it is. Welcome to the stream, Matt. How we doing?
This guy.
Hello. Good, thanks. Yourself?
We're good. So after witnessing that game there, any big things stand out for that game for you? Any key points that we've missed so far? I mean, do you agree or disagree massively with anything we've said already?
I agree with everything you said. The only thing I'd say is we just need to be more clinical.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have Shea Adams, who's a good striker, but then they've got Mo Salah.
Right.
So it's a bit like we play the exact same way Liverpool do, like Jurgen Klopp and Hassan, who do the exact same thing, but they're just better at it than us. They've got a better quality of player.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, we're lacking confidence at the moment. 12 losses in 16 games. That's like relegation form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
Like,
no getting away from
I feel like with Southampton, we're a good team, but the problem is we're missing like a cog in the wheel, and it's just ruined our season.
Yeah,
that's just my opinion, to be honest. So. Yeah,
yeah.
You're right. You are right there. That's what I was trying to get across. During that last little bit there, that no matter what you do, they've still got Salah and Mane, Firmino and Jota, and these world class players that are going to rip you apart on their most average day.
Mm.
And it's just a goal. It's just a golfing class. It really is just a golfing class. If we had a Mane or which we did. Or Salah in the squad, it probably would have been a different game today. If they had those opportunities that Shea had, or just they just do different things. They just play the game different. And if you can get them in those roles, it's going to be you're going to get what Liverpool did today. These two goals that probably don't deserve the two, but
yeah, there's definite difference in terms of the quality of the clinical finishing. I mean, we had as many shots on target as they did, but you look at our chances. I mean, we had 2 shots that were straight at the goalkeeper. There was a headed opportunity from Teller straight at the goalkeeper, a shot from was it Armstrong straight at the goalkeeper, and Shea straight at the goalkeeper. So it's frustrating, really.
Definitely, yeah,
man. I forgot about the Diallo shot as well, the one where he almost made you look stupid. That was
the Diallo one. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah. So what are you making for the rest of the season then, Matt? Do we need to see?
The thing is, that was good play.
It was good play. It was great. It was great play. The build up to that. I mean, it caught Mike out a little bit, but yeah, it was great.
We've been clipped for days, that one.
I think what we need to see to the end of the season is just the boys going, you know what, let's just play with freedom. We've got nothing to lose now. There's nothing left to play for apart from pride. And just be like, play as if every game is your last game.
Mm-hmm.
Because the boys should know that's not good enough, what we're putting out. So they should just go, you know what, let's just go out there and play football now.
Yeah. So final question for you, Matt.
I agree.
What are you happy with in terms of table positioning? that's going to make you go, I'm happy with that. Let's give Ralph loads of cash for the summer. That's not going to happen. But, what are you going to be happy with in terms of a table position finish?
Obviously, being optimistic, like 12th, because that's what they did in their forum. They said that they were a 7 to 12 club.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'm being optimistic. I'm thinking 15th.
Mm-hmm.
It's not okay. It's downgrading from last season because we finished 11th, but I'd take 15th for an FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, it's congested. It's congested. So I think, anything is possible. I think now we can get... Where can we literally get to? If no one actually picks up any more points in this season, where can we get to? Let me have a look. We're on 37 points. We've got 4 games left to play. So that's 12 points.
Look at this on the spot maths. I love it.
Can we get to... No, we can't get to 12. We can't get to 12. We cannot get to 12. No. Sorry. Maths on the spot. That's a problem, isn't it? We can get to 12. We can get to 12. We can get to 11th. We can get to 11th. But that would involve Villa, Wolves and Palace not picking up anything.
I can see that happening. Sure. But you don't want it to rely on other people, do you? You want it to be on your own merit. And it is really congested. I think the biggest takeaway from this season is if somebody said to you, how do they finish 11th and then let's say 15th, and you can quite easily be like, this is why, and be like, okay, I get that. Move on in the summer. As long as we stay in this league, it doesn't really matter to me what position it's in. We go the same way as if we had finished 10th, I would want the same ambition this summer as if we finished 15th. It shouldn't. That doesn't change as long as you're in the league. If you're sticking with Rev, I think if anyone who watched like the fan forum should come away with that going, I understand what's happening at this club, and if you can just be rational about the whole situation, it's bad. It's not that bad. Just calm down and just they're gonna spend in the summer. They already are.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, any final thoughts, Matt, before we let you go? He's frozen. That's a good frozen moment. Fantastic.
I like to think that's his last opinion is just take me in.
That would be quite something to end it like that. Final thoughts. Matt, if you're watching, thanks so much for joining. Always appreciate the insight of fellow Southampton fans. So welcome on the show again. So, how about you, Jack? Any final thoughts?
What are my final thoughts? It was what we've been saying. It was a disappointing performance from us, but again, something that you can explain away. Hopefully nobody gets. I'd be very amazed if anybody comes out of this game going, Shay needs to go. Ralph needs to, like, if you're thinking that at the end of this game, like, shut up. Like, that's exactly. We should all know where we are. If Matt's back, is he? All right, let's
Matt's back. Matt, what happened? He jumped off.
There he is.
You did a perfect ending.
My signal went. Sorry.
There's a perfect ending because you're like, any final thoughts, and you just like froze like this. You're like, that's a perfect way to, like, that is literally all of our final thoughts. So fantastic. Well, as always, Matt, thanks for joining. Are you about on Tuesday? You watching the Palace game?
Of course. I'm watching the Palace game. I'm watching that.
Fantastic.
I'm feeling optimistic. So, yeah. Anyway, have a good evening, guys.
Cheers, Matt. Good to see you. Bye-bye. There we go. Fantastic. Right then, Jack, any final thoughts from you? Any words of wisdom you'd like to leave the fans of the channel, and more importantly, the fans of the greatest football club in the world?
I'd probably add one, but at this point, that Scotch is really catching up with me, and so are the 2 beers. So they've all they've all gone. It took me so long to remember the Arlo shot. So, end of the day, mate, it can be explained away. and we are just seeing the season out now. We are just seeing it out, and that's fine. I don't expect too much, apart from if we get tickets on Thursday, and then in which case I expect absolutely everything.
Absolutely. Abigail, thank you for that. Much appreciated. Now we'll be queuing up to get our tickets, hopefully, for that Leeds home game. I think our ballot opens up on Thursday, so we're just like, oh please. But I've scheduled the rest of the StreamYard things for all of the other games without that one in there. Just thinking, until I know, it's not been scheduled because
is there any way that we could still do this at the game? We just have the phone in front of us, and we get like a two-way like splitter.
Maybe it's a lot of wires.
Is that legal? Are we allowed to do that?
I don't. It depends on the signal, actually.
It does, doesn't it?
And the battery of the phone, because you'd have to do it on your phone. But
maybe we should all just hit up Southampton and be like, "Listen, we've been doing this in lockdown. We love it. We want to keep doing it. But we've got season tickets. Can we just please do this? Give us the Wi-Fi password.
Make it work for us. Give us a box. Give us a box, please.
Just give us a phone that logs into yours. So we're doing it all for you. That's fine.
Yeah, give us a little press desk.
I'm so much cheaper than Kenzie Benali. I'm so much cheaper. Yeah, she's got the looks and the acumen and the and the presence. But I'll do it for Twixes.
Yeah. A bit more experience with live TV, I guess. But we're working on it. So
I don't have sheets of paper or questions to ask people. It's all off the fly, and I drink. So
yeah, it's all gut feeling.
Gut feeling is what it's all about.
Klopp looks far too happy. I'm not happy with that.
It looks like he's about to cry. It means a lot to him this game.
It does. Fantastic. Well, we've chatted far too long on a game we've lost 2-0. But thanks to everyone who joined us in the chat section. Thanks to everyone who joined us on the show as well. For all future shows, there's a section in the members section where you can log on. There will always be priority access to the members. So thank you for those who support the channel. Always much appreciated. But as we get to the end of the streams, maybe there's something out there that we can put in the streams in the standard chat section. But I can't always promise that because we've got stuff to do. And it won't be often that we feel like chatting for this long. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not often I talk to anybody this long. I've spoken to you more this year than I think any of my family members, even the ones I live with.
I know. We don't like to say that out loud, but yes,
it's absolutely true.
Looking out for Mrs. MatchDayVlogs, give me the evils.
Please stop calling me Mrs. MatchDayVlogs. It's weird.
Joe, much appreciated. Always good to have fellow Saints fans watching this with us because the thing is that when we have a bad result, like it's not a bad result, but we didn't get a win. It's just better to chat about it and go through it. So we shall leave it there. But as always, please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you for the Tuesday night watch along and for the post-match thing there. So thanks to everyone who's joined us. And Jack's serenading. Oh, what a beautiful chord to finish on. Amazing. Like and subscribe.